Whether it's a snagging, nagging nail that needs fixing, or it's simply time for a trim, a nail nipper is a good thing to have at your fingertips. A nail nipper's handy because it offers a bit more control than lever-style clippers. So, let's give them a big hand as we find out how it's made. They're made of stainless steel. This nail cutter looks as if it belongs in a toolbox, and it actually works like cutting pliers. Squeezing the handle brings the curved blades at the end together for a well-rounded job. So, unless you've got talons like a bird of prey, manicures should be a snip. Production begins with these forged steel blanks. 2 pairs of nippers can be made from each one. The blanks are loaded into a carriage that transports them into a furnace. Subjected to intense heat, the steel blanks become white hot and malleable in just minutes. Each blank is transferred to a die, as a hammer slams it into the shape of 2 nail nipper shanks, each with a cutting head. It takes several strikes to create the right impression on both sides of the blank. The process transforms the narrow blank into a wider piece with 2 nail nipper forms. This is the blank before forging and after. Once the 2 shanks have been separated and trimmed, a drill cuts a hole under the blade end. This is where the nipper shanks will be joined. A milling tool shaves down the area for a neat and level joint. This is the shank before the joint work and after. The nipper shanks are then transferred to a finishing machine. They bounce around in a stream of abrasive ceramic pebbles for a few hours. This rubs off any rough edges. A magnetized conveyor pulls out the steel shanks, leaving the ceramics behind, and carries the shanks forward. The entire surface will be sanded until it looks completely smooth. Oil is brushed onto the joints to prevent rust and abrasion. Next, it's time to rivet the 2 shanks together. The rivets are funneled into a tooling above and below the nail nipper shanks. The machinery drives the rivets into the holes. Once joined, they can't be pulled apart without completely destroying the nail nippers. At this point, the rivet still protrudes slightly. So each one is sanded until it's on the same plane as the rest of the joint. This vigorous abrading makes the rivet almost disappear. The inside of the nipper blades are polished to completely smooth the surfaces. An even and smooth surface can be more thoroughly cleaned and disinfected between uses. At this point, the blades are still blunt, so they're filed on an angle to give them a cutting edge. Too little filing could hamper the clearance between the blades. Too much would ruin the nippers entirely. They're tested on paper. If the cutting edge slips, the blades may need more work. If they slice right through, they're just right. After that, holes are drilled and a spring is attached to make the nippers easier to open and close. Any professional opening and closing nippers a few hundred times a day will be grateful for this little feature. They make these nail nippers in batches of 400 over a couple of weeks, so you can always get your hands on some. Thumbs up to that. Very nicely manicured thumbs as well.